Cowboy hat today.
Oh no, it
Where's
doesn't.
the
I wouldn't
Where's
be
the
able to get
cowboy hat
the.
today?
I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it was
your
out
headphones are
yesterday.
on.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't fit with it. All right, we're
Nice,
live.
nice. Well, my guest today is amazing Justin. Rondo did I get the
That's
last name
right.
right,
You
Justin?
nailed it.
Perfect.
All that time in Canada, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Justin is, he's running an amazing company these guys really help out digital marketing agency owners and digital marketing agencies in general by being the white label fulfillment partners behind the scenes. And the company is called Invisible Pay Per Click. These guys do amazing, phenomenal work. I got to hang out with Justin and his partner Avi. We got to get a lot of sun on that last day at the POD event on the yacht, Justin. And just some amazing. These guys are amazing. Like what I really loved about Justin and you and your partner. You guys are so open, upfront, and honest. And even though we were meeting for the first time, it felt like I've known you guys forever and ever. Welcome to the show. How you doing today, man?
Oh man, thank you so much. One for the kind words, and two, the sentiment is reciprocated there, in that like it did feel like we've known you guys for quite a long time after meeting for the first time in Florida. And one, I'm doing great. Couldn't be happier to spend some time with you and the listeners today to just talk through some agency stuff and see how we can provide some value. So, I mean, that's when I'm at my
Yeah, man.
happiest. So let's do it.
Love it. So let's start with a little bit about your background, Justin.
Yeah.
Um, I know you're running this amazing company right now, but let's go a little bit, take a step back and talk to us about, what's your journey been like? Where did you
Yeah.
started out? Where you grew up, and were you entrepreneurial all along, or did you
Mm.
get some jobs in between? What's going on?
Yeah, so I think like everybody in this space, there's no, it's like it's a journey that's kind of all over the place. So I mean, grew up in the Northeast, went to school, studied philosophy because that seemed like the right thing to do. They get a great ROI on college at that point in time, but it was something that I was passionate about, and that's been one thing that I've always been interested in. Is like I want to make sure I follow the things that I enjoy doing, regardless of kind of the outcome. That was in my younger days. I didn't care about outcomes. I now do more so, but I've been in the marketing world, really in the B2B marketing world, for nearly my entire career. Started in software. I worked at a company that did email templates. Like we would white label OEM our email templates to email service providers. So I've always been kind of in the space of being the guy behind the guy, or the company behind the guy or gal, or
Hmm.
anything like that. Then I moved into the marketing publishing space, specifically talking about in evangelizing, split testing, and conversion rate optimization. Ran some conferences there. It was called Witch Test One. Got acquired by Bounce Exchange, and then I think they shut it down way later. But was really kind of
What
in that
year is
space.
this, Justin?
That was probably 2011 ish. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
I like
while
to
back.
get people to guess my guest's age by just taking
Oh
them back in the timelines. But
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
it's like, don't let this young face fool you. No. And
Justin's
then,
got some solid experience there, man. So that's
yeah,
awesome. Good to know.
yeah. So I did that for a couple of years, launched a conference, did a bunch of trainings. And that's when I met was my longest tenure was at Digital Marketer. That's when I met Ryan Dice, Merlin Fraser. They went through some of my trainings. We ended up doing some work together. I spoke at Traffic and Conversion Summit and all those things. Then eventually one day they're like, "Hey, just come work for us." And I was like, "Let's do it." So I actually was never really like the entrepreneur. I was more of the intrapreneur, where
Mm,
again, guy behind the guy gets the stuff done.
mm,
And really started on the optimization side. Then I ran all of their marketing. I was the head of marketing. Then I ran Digital Marketer for about 2 years. Moved over into their software division, and then decided to make a jump to like more corporate like software. And it
mm.
was it was a shift. It was a shift for sure. I was running growth and acquisition at Teamwork after my 7 year stint at Digital Marketer, and then after that, like I had met Avi, and known him for quite a while. We decided to partner up. I came back to kind of my roots in a lot of the agency space, and kind of digging into like what I believe to be is like one of my own like characteristic cornerstones, and what is our business cornerstone, being that we're the doers. We're the people that help
Mm,
facilitate getting things done regardless. And we
mm.
know that that's what people need. And that's something that I've been doing my entire career, whether I knew it or not. And something that I want to share with, the rest of the industry.
And when did you guys take over Invisible Paperclip?
Yep. So we picked this up back in November. So it's been around. So IPPC's been around for almost 11 years now. So Rob Warner was the original founder of that, and he's kind of the perfect example of the accidental agency owner.
Hmm.
He was. I remember it was at some event, almost 11 years ago, where someone's like, "Hey, have him do your agency's Google ads," and then it turned into a company. Great brand, great product, great processes, great people. When Rob put it up for sale, it was a no brainer. To be quite
Hmm.
honest, it was very much like a let's do this. So yeah, we've had it for almost a full year now. Yeah, we bought it back in November,
Nice.
so yeah, full year that we've since we've
Nice,
acquired.
man. That's amazing. That's quite a resume, my friend. Like you just walk through it, working with digital marketers and then working at uh, Microsoft Teams. Was that
Oh no, teamwork project management
teamwork?
software. Yep.
Okay, teamwork. Yeah, I think it's pretty huge on the corporate side, right?
Yeah, they're trying to break in more into the agency side as well, which is why I went there. And so I was like, oh hey, like they're used all over, but yeah, yeah, they're going to be competing with the likes of like
Yeah,
Asana, ClickUp, those types of folks, which I
yeah.
do feel
They've
bad
been
for.
around.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time. Bootstrapped company up
Yeah.
until about a year and a half ago, when they got their first kind of like investment, decided to try to go after the big dogs. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're like 270 people right now, and yeah. So that's and then you've always been that. So and that's what really caught my eye when I was talking to you guys. And sometimes the founders or the people at the top. That's very it's you have to have the right people at the top for a
Mhm.
company to succeed. And I felt that you and Avi are the perfect pair. You have the chops, you have the real world experience of getting it done, hands on the ad side, optimization experiences inside these agencies and things like that. And Alvy's the the business arm of things, and he's like the deal maker and things like that. So, and I guess he's going to be coming to the seven figure agency
Yep.
show in actually happening next week, right? So that's amazing, man. So perfect partnership, perfect guys to work with, and like if you're a digital marketing agency, and I think like if you're starting out and all the way up to 50, 60,000, even up to $1 million
Mhm.
revenue mark, working with a company like Invisible Pay-per-click is, I think it's a no-brainer. But when I started my agency, Justin, back in the day, this was 2008. I didn't knew what was going on, man. I just had to find one contractor for
Yeah.
websites, one contractor for SEO, find these people and hit and miss, just go through and building my teams, right? But uh, I never had this concept in front of me where, if I'm starting out a new agency right now, and I think this is where we try to help out agency owners who are starting out or who are
Mhm.
in that growth mode right now, that there's better ways of doing it, because I've done it the wrong way, so let's not make those mistakes. Let's come in and work with a partner, a white label fulfillment partner like Invisible Pay-per-click, where these guys and Justin just walked you guys through the resume that he has, right? So rest assured that your paid ad campaigns. I think you guys are helping out with Facebook, Instagram, obviously Google side,
We're
and
actually we just do Google. It's Google, YouTube, and then Microsoft ads. Like we stay very very focused, because I know like anybody who's
okay,
going to Josh Nelson's event, they know that he talks about like niching down. Where
yeah,
how we niched, and granted, I'm saying we because I didn't start the company, we acquired it, but when it was started, this was niching down by specialty. So we're
mm,
like it was very very focused. Our goal is to be really like an inch wide and like 10 miles deep.
Mm.
Is how we look at that. Yeah, but
I love
yeah,
it.
so
I love it,
yeah,
man. So just focus on the Google side and
yeah,
some on the Microsoft side. And I think for most of those small businesses that a lot of our agency owners who are also niche down, majority of the results are always on the Google side, right?
oh
Like
yeah,
if it's a plumbing company, if it's an electrician,
hmm,
if it's a flooring company, people don't go out and hang out on social media for those type of businesses. They're going to need a plumber right
yeah,
now. They're going to go on Google and they're going to put in that search that I need a plumber near me, right?
yeah,
So having somebody specialized in those things and behind you from day one, so that you don't have to worry about fulfillment on the ad side. I think it's a no-brainer. So amazing, great work there, Justin. To just and explaining that, right? What you just said, that niching down. Obviously, if you were just working with all, niching for a particular agency is one thing, but
mhm,
then finding a partner who's also niche down, that's
yeah.
a whole different ball game, and that's what brings in the results that we're going to be talking about today. So, talk to me a little bit about if how important is it for an agency owner who's starting out right now to have partners like Invisible Pay Per Click in their arsenal? Like, say I'm an agency owner. I'm I kind of I've been hustling. I've gotten to $10,000-$20,000 a month in revenue going right now. Why should I have why should I have Invisible Pay Per Click as my partner behind the scenes?
Yeah, really. I mean, it comes down to being able to duplicate efforts and scale. So if you're say a one person show kind of that's really just grinding, and you're the one doing the fulfillment, doing the sales, doing those things, you're eventually going to run out of time. And mostly you're going to be running out of time on the sales side of things, or like working on the business, because you have to fulfill on everything that you've done and retained, right? So you
Mm,
need to be able to find people to help out. And most people decide, like, you know what, I'll hire internally. That's very expensive, very risky. Granted, there's a lot of pros to that. It's great. But it also takes more time away than you'd think. If you're a one person show and you've never managed somebody before or hired somebody
mm,
before,
mm,
like that takes a lot of time to hire. It's expensive,
mm.
and now you have to manage somebody. Management is
Yeah.
a totally different skill set, like completely different. You
Yeah.
could be the best like individual contributor in the world, but a really crap
Mm,
manager. Like
mhm.
there's an old, not an old saying, but there is a saying. I don't know how old it is. Maybe it is, but it's you never like you generally want to avoid like promoting your best salesperson to sales manager, because you just got rid of your best salesperson and you got a crappy manager in exchange, right?
Nice. Love it.
So
Yeah.
that's why you want to have, different folks in your arsenal. The other side, people go, why would I need to work with a company dedicated to this? Why don't I just use, like individual contractors and those types of things? And yeah, sure, that's fine, I guess, but they might ghost you. They might not be working out. They don't have a rigorous hiring process for their own teams. Like, and you're getting, when you work with
Mm,
fulfillment groups, you're getting teams of people, not just a person.
mm,
That's another
yeah.
another piece. And then the other side is like, if you're working with like a group like us, or if you're like looking for people like in the SEO space and working with like an SEO white labeler or anything like that, they have a breadth of experience that people won't be able to touch. Like you just won't, and
Mm,
you won't be able to hire for that level of experience for the price point you're getting. So you're getting time back,
mm,
you're able to scale other offerings for your agency, and you're able to do it profitably.
mm. Yeah, no, I love that, man. It's a no-brainer, especially when you're early on in your journey. Forget about hiring a person
Oh yeah.
because, you're not an expert at hiring right now. So let's just step back from that. And then contractors, my legacy agency in Calgary, Justin, that's, I've gone through trial and errors of finding people. Like it is daunting process, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
finding one contractor, I burned through that one just because he's not wanting to do the work anymore, or he's moving to a different country. It's a one man
Yep.
operation behind the scene, and then all 10 of my clients are relying on that person, right? And all of
Yep.
a sudden that person ghosts me, and it's actually happened to me, like what you said. And on overnight, I'm just losing my sleep. I'm trying to find somebody else who can take on these ad
Mm-hmm.
accounts. And then, the third option is to having somebody like you guys where, you don't have to worry about your employee. You could be a great manager, but chances are if you're hiring for the first time, it's going to take some time.
The
So
odds are not in
instead,
your favor. The odds are not in your
yeah,
favor.
instead go with invisible pay per click, because what's going to happen is that they're going to bring this breadth of experience, and now all of a sudden you can be confident when you go out on those sales calls that, hey man, you don't even need to worry about, because and that confidence shows, right, when you're talking to
Mhm.
your clients. I remember when I was pitching different things to my clients, and some of them wanted to do, for example, I didn't do paid ads for the longest time, right? And I had always deflected that question. I was really good at doing websites and SEO because I had great contractors for that. I never had a great contractor for paid ads, and I always deflected that. And I knew I could make a lot of money from that. I just didn't have the confidence in that. But imagine having a company like Invisible Pay Per Click behind you, and I am guessing, Justin, that I only pay by the project. Is that how it works with you guys? If
Yep.
my contract goes away from the client, I can just cancel that contract with you guys as well.
Yep. That's exactly right. So yeah, we're not charging for work we're not doing. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man. So it's just a no-brainer, right? You scale, you focus on the growth, and these guys are there to provide you world-class work behind the scenes, so you can stay confident.
yeah,
That's amazing. Let's switch gears a little bit,
let's do that.
Justin. I want to talk about so again, we're talking about the plight of a growing agency owner right now. So
Yep.
we talked about fulfillment a little bit, and you guys can come in and plug in that gap on the paid ad side. How about when you want to grow? Obviously, you want to do your marketing, right? So, and you guys are an agency as well, obviously. So in your opinion, what works best when you're growing your agency in terms of marketing, so that you have a constant
Mhm.
flow of inbound leads coming in?
Yeah, I mean the first thing is it's weird that I'm saying this because we sell pay per click. Like one is like investing in your content and search strategies is critical. Like that doesn't pay off immediately, but it pays off dividends later. Like one of the benefits of buying IPPC was that it already had a brand name. It already had like a great amount of organic traffic coming. It ranked, and it just brings in just like every day I can just see people coming to the site, downloading some of our content, and then making
Hmm.
sure, and then they go through all of our automation sequences. So make sure you're doing
Hmm.
that. Like don't sleep on that, but that's not going to be the thing that fixes that like fixes anything for you in the immediacy. So the other thing that you need to do
Hmm.
is you do need to have, and I don't care who, like whatever anybody's saying right now, like in the marketing space, but with gated content being not being great or gated content's old or whatever, do it. You need to gate your
Hmm.
content or some of it. There's really great ways
Hmm.
to do it as well. Whether it's like if you're doing a pillar piece of content, you can do this concept called I call it the hybrid gate, where you keep it completely open so you get all the organic juice, but then you utilize a pop up and inline CTAs to say, hey, do you want this to go? Do you want this as a PDF? Right?
Nice.
That slays only every time. The other side of things that you want to be doing is make sure you have gated premium content that is segmented towards your offerings, right? So if you're doing web development for lawyers, you could do a, hey, like, do you want to see like give them a template pack for like the ultimate like homepage for a law firm, and get them excited there because they're thinking about marketing, and then you say, hey, see all
Hmm.
this stuff, it's hard to do, would you like some help with that, right? So you
Hmm.
need to have that type of gated content that you can then utilize ads for, like on Facebook,
Hmm.
mainly on Facebook, because I wouldn't do any of those on Google. Top of funnel ads I stay clear from in terms of putting money behind on Google unless you're doing branding campaigns. You want to make sure you're
Hmm.
doing more direct response ads on Google, so that would be where you're doing retargeting or for any of your book a call type things. um,
Hmm.
After the fact there, make sure you have your automation sequences set up in a way that anybody who comes in, that you have a next step in line. So there's two tricks of the trade here. When they sign up for anything, make sure on your thank you page you have next steps for them for anything. You don't want to have any stop signs on your website or at all. Like always have a
Hmm.
next step. Any page they land on should be a launch pad. It should not be an endpoint, right? And
Hmm.
then you have within your email automations, you're starting to follow up and then kind of get them to that next step and make sure it's not too big of a jump. Like sometimes people don't want to
Hmm.
jump on a call right away. Sometimes they'll just want to see like a demo of something. Like I know for agencies, there's not as many demos, but you could have a quick reel of like, hey, here's people we've worked with using testimonials or anything like
Yeah.
that. How we do it, our funnel's this. So if you're white label PPC people listening to this, I guess you could take our funnel, go nuts, but this is how it works. Um, for if they come in through a general lead magnet, so a top funnel piece, what we do is our follow up sequence pushes them to then join our How to Sell PPC course. We create a 33-minute free course. They can sign up for that. If their starting point is the course, which it is oftentimes, then they go through a sequence of booking a call with us. It's a real simple funnel because we know if they haven't gone through the course yet, they aren't, we don't know if they're raising their hand that they're ready to start selling. Our other content's there to catch agencies that are interested in pay-per-click type topics like audits, landing pages, those types of things. Then you graduate them up to, oh, I want to sell things. That's why I'm taking this course. And if they took the course, what is it? 10% of the folks that take the course book a meeting with me. It's crazy.
Hmm.
It's great through our automation sequences. It's fantastic. And yeah, so that's our standard funnel at that point.
Wow,
Real
man,
simple.
that's those are some golden nuggets right there, man. Like extremely impressive. Let me try and summarize this for the layman. Like, if you're starting out, so number one, I think what Justin said, get your basics right. And
Mhm.
how you get your basics right is that focus on your content. Content, just don't take generic content and reword things and stuff like that. Like, make your presence known, man. It's like, people are reading, they want to read something, and something that makes an impact. So, make sure the basics are right. Have your website nice and clean, have your content, and have a plan for your content. And then around that, like, I think, Justin, you guys were lucky where you guys were able to pick this business up, which has been established for some time. But and that way, I think Invisible Pay Per Click was already getting some organic traffic and things like that. So for you to get there, make sure that with your content, have a search engine optimization strategy, right? And
Yep.
if you can focus on a niche, I think like what Justin is doing, it becomes a little bit easier to rank for niche focused keywords across the board. So once you have that set up, then you're gonna simultaneously want to focus on your funnels. And looks like, Justin, you guys are pros at your funnels. And I want to ask you, and you talked about the hybrid funnel strategy and some good points over here, which even we can take and start implementing on our side. I want to ask you for these automations you're talking about and things like that. I'm guessing you guys are using a CRM. What CRM are you using for that?
Yep. So right now we're using Active Campaign for all of our funnels there. Really, and I like it's table stakes for any tool.
Mm,
And you want to make sure they have at least a decent level of options in terms of how your automations function. Which I know like tools like High Level do all that.
mm,
HubSpot, but HubSpot's crazy expensive.
mm,
And those are the three I'm probably most familiar with and that are probably most accessible for
yeah,
listeners today.
yeah. Yeah, and I think, and then like as agency owners, this is extremely vital, I think, and I completely missed the boat on this because we trying to get a constant flow of leads coming in. You want to have these things set up properly for yourself. If we're calling ourselves digital marketing agencies and we don't have the
Oh
basics
gosh.
right ourselves, and I've done it myself. I've been guilty of that, but we see that from time to time that we're not eating our own dog food, and we're not
Mhm.
doing the things that we're telling our clients to do. And we don't have the basic setup like CRM systems and the funnels and the automations and the right content and the right website and the right SEO. So please go ahead and take care of this marketing, because the next step we're going to be talking about is the sales process. And those salespeople are going to have an incredibly hard time if you don't have this first step, because marketing comes first, and then comes sales, right? So talk to me a little bit about you guys have these amazing funnels. People are coming in, they're booking these
Mhm.
discovery calls. Walk me through a little bit about what your sales process is like. Is it a one call process, two call process? How do you close those deals? How is your team looking like on that side?
Yeah, so it's generally a one call is what we're looking at, and it's really kind of a basic, kind of more consultative sale. So we do have like a pitch deck that's ready to roll, but how we do it is it's kind of more of like a hey, and we learned this a lot from Alex Schlinsky at POD. He's helped us a lot in terms of like building up how we have these like sales discussions where we frame at the
Mm,
beginning very simply like, hey, it's one, thank you for coming on. Like I want to like, I know time's valuable. So what are you hoping to get out of today such that like we've made sure that we've valued your time. Right. And
mm,
then we just let them start talking. Like that's it. Like they like for in these cases, especially from our inbound leads, like and not colder ones from like meeting setters or anything like that. Like when we're looking at pure inbound leads, like these are people that have a very specific problem they need fixed and they need fixed generally fairly quickly. So
mm,
you let them talk, people love talking about their business. Business owners love talking about their business. That's it. If you let them go, you'll get so many nuggets. You can frame the conversation as you need to, and once you do that, like
mm,
it's a follow up. Okay, cool. From what I'm hearing right now, you're trying to do X, Y, Z. Does that sound about right? Great.
mm,
So if you're and you're on this call because you're trying to get someone to help you with Google PPC, because either we hear a few common things, like either people like, I know enough to be dangerous is one of the phrases I hear a lot, where they know enough but they don't want to do it. The other one is, hey, I've been doing this but I need to be focusing on the business and those things. So you just kind of how you start seeing patterns and you know how to respond to a lot of those things, because that's
mm,
that's what we're here to do, is we're here to solve those particular issues. Then gets into, hey, here's our core offering thing right here. It includes XYZ. We've seen results in your niche or the niches that you're looking into. um
mm,
it, and then we go into essentially, how does that all sound? We walk through like everything they get in there, and it's like, and then if that sounds great, cool, let's jump to price points. Actually, there's one
mm,
more step where if they don't have, if do you have a client ready to, have you sold a client or have a client that will be ready for this in the next like 2 weeks? And if
mm,
they say yes, we move into we switch to one part of the close. That's the actual like partnership and bringing them on. If they say no, we have a content site that they can get access to get like trainings and help them close more business.
nice.
And so we move to that. So we have a downsell in the scenario where the agency's not ready to have a fulfillment partner, but they need a little bit more support. So depending on how they answer that one question is where we lead into the close. We're generally looking to, if it's someone for a partnership side of things on the call, we want to get a commitment for our annual dues for becoming a partner at $780 a year. When they do that, they let us know when they have their first client ready to sign. They fill out a form, they pay the setup fee, and then we're off to the races. If they don't
Mm,
have a client in place, we tell them about our content area, everything that's included in that. That's at just under $1,200 a year. We try to get a confirmation on that. Mostly they're still thinking because they're not ready for that investment there. But then they go through an email automation sequence. Again, I love emails, my love language. Like, let's be serious.
mm.
And they go through that sequence, and that's actually a brand new funnel. So I don't have data for you on that. Once I do, I'm happy to share.
Nice, man. And again, it's such a simple sales process. You don't have to overcomplicate things.
Nope.
Justin's doing, I don't think a lot of people are doing this right now, the one call close method, but it is phenomenal.
Mhm.
It's simple. You just have to listen to the prospect, listen to them. People like me, we love talking about like what you said.
Yeah.
I can go on in hours about my business, right? So you would have those conversations, listen to them, reframe them, and then tie in your offer to solve a
Mhm.
problem for them. And if in your case, if they have a client ready to go, it's a no brainer for them to just give you a
Yeah, literally
yes.
yesterday, 4:30 p.m. call comes in, and I'm like, and I was like, no, it's like the end of the day, and I was going to meet people
Yeah,
downtown in Austin, and I get
yeah,
on the call, and the guy just goes, hey, Justin, like, thank you so much for jumping on. I just sold a client. I need help. What do I need to do to get
nice,
started? It was,
nice.
and that was it. I I was like, it costs this much and you get this. How does that sound? He's like, perfect. And that was it. That was it.
Love
It's
it.
wild. It's wild. People will overcomplicate it too much. And then the other thing is like,
Yeah,
be sure to be like, don't try to do square peg, round hole type scenario. Like if they're not a fit, tell them. Like
yeah.
I can't tell you. I even like I've had great referrals from people, and I talk with them. I'm like, man, we're just not going to make it work for you. And
Hmm.
you never want like always be transparent. It'll pay off dividends because people who don't work with us that I tell them we're not a good fit for, but they know what the good fit
Hmm.
is, they'll send us those people.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's another marketing nugget right there for you guys that, learn how to say no to people who
Mhm.
don't, who are not the right fit. And, in a lot of cases, you guys are going to see that those people are going to be your champions in their worlds, in their groups, and they're going to be sending over people who are going to be the right fit for you. And people value that in this day and age, Justin. Not a lot of people have the fortitude of saying no to people. They're like, let it come in, I'll sort it out. But I can promise you that, if you make a habit of that, you're gonna ruin your brand. You're gonna ruin that client for yourself. That client is going to end up leaving you.
Mhm.
And that's the next step that we're going to be talking about. That how do you keep your clients with you? Because we've gone through the marketing process, we've gone through this amazing simple sales strategy that you have. Very, very simple. Do not overcomplicate it. You can usually close the if and but I guess the prerequisite to that before we move on to the retention part is that have your offer like really, really simplified, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're not niche down already, you won't be able to sell like Justin's selling right now. Is that true or not, Justin?
It's 100% true. You want to make sure you have your offers productized and then contextualized for the niche that you're in. Like, and
Yeah,
that's how you win.
yeah.
Too often, some people will do a sales pitch and they're like the dog that caught the car, where they're like, "All right, I sold them. I don't know what to do. How much should I charge? Like, what's the total charge for this?" They don't understand like the costs of doing business. And then what they end up doing is they actually, in some cases, charge too little. And I've seen this,
Yeah.
and I've seen this on the pay per click side for sure, where I get on these great calls with people, and I tell them our price point, and they're like, "Oh, I sold them a PPC package of at 300 a month," and I was like, "You gave them one of the best deals in the world if you can deliver on that." But
Yeah.
and it's just no, and if you've productized your services, it gets really simple. You go, that's just what it costs. There's no like wheeling and dealing that has to happen. You're like, this is what it
Mm,
costs to do this.
mm,
There's no subjectivity. It's gone. So
yeah.
yeah, I 100% agree. Like you need to have things simplified, like know your specialty, know your niche, connect the dots between those two things. And it makes the close
So if you
so
wanna you
simple.
want you want to be a pro like Justin, just take a step back, work on your offering, simplify it,
Mhm.
productize it like Justin said, and then you're gonna have an amazing time selling, and you might be closing a deal at 5 p.m. and the client is just coming on the call to hand over a credit card over to you.
Yep.
So and that's amazing. You make it sound easy, but I know all the work that you put in
Mhm.
behind the scenes to make this offer such a simple offer for people so that it's a no-brainer. So let's move on to the retention part, Justin. How do you like now you guys are, you guys have all these amazing clients coming in,
Yep.
things like that. How do you retain them for as long as possible? Because, like the agencies are built on retainers. You want to have
Mhm.
these retainers, you want to continue to grow your retainers to, $80,000 is that ultimate mark, which a lot of us have the goal of, where, you $83,000, you're a $1 million agency. So how do you constantly keep growing without worrying about people leaving you
Mhm.
when you close those deals?
Yeah. Well, the fact of the matter is people are going to leave. Like that's just let's rip that band-aid off. It's just going to happen.
Yeah,
So, if you're
yeah.
new to the business, don't feel hurt. Like it's going to happen and and what I'll go through next is like what we've learned over time to avoid or like extend the period there. But I just wanted to make sure just be ready for it. It's going to happen. There's
Hmm.
so many different variables to play with.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
but in general the first thing is like easy answer is deliver. That's the first one. Like, deliver on your promises. So when you're in the sales process and and then specifically going into the onboarding process after the sales process, make sure that your account manager, if that's just you or if it's somebody else, make sure that they're setting realistic expectations, both in terms of like what to expect in month one, and what results to see. So what deliverables, what results, what deliverables, what results. Always speak to those things and get
Hmm.
buy-in there. Make sure there's consistent
Hmm.
communication as well. Don't just wait to have like your bi-weekly meeting or your weekly meeting with them. Make sure you're checking in. If something cool happens, like, let them know. Like, share that type of information. You want to feel like an extension of the company. You want to feel like an
Hmm.
employee of the company and integrate yourself there. If you do that, they won't
Hmm.
be leaving anytime soon. So that, like, the
Yeah.
second you, like, we've had clients, and these are the scary ones. And I remember Avi talked about this in September. Um, how we break things down and kind of like our account management performance. It's, are they performing, like, what's the performance of the ad account, and then what's the, like, status of the client. Like, and one of the things that can put status of client, like, you could have a account that's singing, that's great, but you could have them in the red as a flight risk because they haven't answered an email in
Hmm.
3 months,
Hmm.
right? Because and it could be they're happy with how things are going or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Those are the scariest clients to me because they could just
Hmm.
walk because they're not invested,
Hmm.
right?
So no
So
news, no news is not good news in this
in this
case.
case, that's exactly the case. You want them to see you as an extension of the team. At Teamwork, we
Hmm.
had tons, and this is one thing I just want to stress in general. Every company uses, like, agency and outsourced talent. Every company does it. So, like,
Hmm.
agencies exist because, like, companies need subject matter experts and specialists that they can't hire internally. They exist for that.
Hmm.
That's why they'll utilize agencies like yourself, and then why agencies like yourself should also utilize agencies like us, because that's what every business does. Every business does it. So just
Hmm.
wanted to stress that. Like, at Teamwork, we had a fractional product marketer that was on the team. This was an agency, and
Hmm.
she felt like a team member. And some people, and a lot of people at the company, thought she was a team member.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
that if you can get to that status with your clients, you won. Like, you did it.
Hmm.
So, and how you do that is, one, clear and open communication, set and reset expectations, deliver on time, talk about results, and interpret them accordingly to move into the next month. That's it.
So simple, right? And again, I think like most agency owners that I know, I was one of them. You know, the first step that you mentioned, communication, it just usually didn't exist because first of all, I was trying to do it myself,
Mm-hmm.
and B, like, if you have like 10, 15 clients and you're doing sales, you're doing marketing, and you're doing management, a ball is going to get dropped here and there. So
Yep.
communication is key, and if you can kind of streamline it, I think that's amazing. And obviously, delivering results is the cornerstone of that. And
Yep.
you really, really, like, I think that was the best part where you said that if they're hiring you as their marketing agency, you should really make them feel like that you're part of their team, right? Because if you're really invested in their success and you show that, or your account managers, when they log in and they're just jumping on a phone call to sharing that win, hey Joe, did you see that we just managed to get to number one for this particular
Mm-hmm.
keyword, or we got this many leads this month for you, or these many calls and things like that, and they're genuinely excited about that, it's going to feel like that these guys are not just a third party marketing agency who's just doing or collecting a paycheck from me. They're actually invested in my business, and it's going to be really hard to let a company like that go. A company who's communicating here and there, and you're paying them a good amount of retainer, they might be generating results, but they're in terms of their culture, in terms of how they're interacting with you, they're not there. It's really easy for you, as if things go a little bad, you can just say like, let me just cut this cost out, like let me save this
Yep.
$2,000 right now. But imagine, like what you said, it really resonated with me, because That's what we try to do on our side. Our guys and our gals, if they can go inside a company, even though they're going in as a contractor, but they can be part of the culture and they can live and breathe they know the values of that culture, and they're part of those team meetings as a value add person, and they're really really invested. It becomes really hard for that employer to let that person go. And same thing goes for that marketing agency,
Mhm.
that if you're invested, if you're there, you're celebrating those wins. If there's something going wrong, you're there fixing it before the client knows, and you're talking to them, communicating with them. It's going to be very very difficult for those people to kind of
Yep.
let you guys go, or they'll at least have the decency of having a conversation with you and not ghost you, right? So
Exactly.
very very well put together. Justin, before we leave, man, give us a final nugget. If I'm an agency owner and I'm about to start my agency, or I'm at that $10,000-$20,000 mark and I want to really start growing, what should I be doing at this point?
First thing is to identify what you're good at and what you like doing in the agency. Focus on that. That's where you get your energy. That's where the business will get the most from you. And then find a partner, find a fulfillment partner, an employee, or whoever to do the stuff that you don't like doing and that
Hmm.
you don't or you're not skilled enough at doing. That's
Hmm.
it to me. Like if you're at that stage, like where you're like considering support in the like in different spots, like first identify like where are you the force multiplier, and then get other
Hmm.
people to be the force multiplier in the other areas.
Hmm. Amazing, man. So first of all, make sure that you're enjoying doing what you're supposed to
Yeah.
be doing. So if it's not the right niche, or if the agency game is not for you, maybe it's time to think something else. But if you've identified that, then I think what Justin's saying is that stop wearing all the hats.
Mhm.
You could be really great at doing sales. You could be great at marketing, but you can't tell me that you're great at sales. You're great at marketing, you're great at business
Yep.
development, and you're great at client retention and fulfillment. So for God's sake, stop doing everything yourself, and have people like Justin, have companies like Invisible Pay Per Click behind the scenes supporting you guys, so that you can have the confidence in growth, and you can go out to your clients and you can do what you love every single day, and solve problems for your clients, and be confident that you have people like Justin and Invisible Pay Per Click behind the scenes helping you guys. As soon as you close that contract, you don't have to worry about fulfillment after that. So Justin, this has been an honor, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you. This one is definitely a really nice podcast. I think there's amazing nuggets in there for anyone who's listening to us. And I really appreciate your time, man.
Oh man, thanks for having me. This is a super fun conversation, and looking forward to seeing you around at some events probably very soon.
Yeah, yeah. I'll see you soon, my friend. Thanks a lot,
All
Justin.
right.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Bye, man.
Bye now.